back. We back. We back. We back. Back. We back. We back. A lot going on today. Lot is going on today. You got Suge Knight snitching in jail. Reggie Wright doing the same thing. Like, I ain't gonna lie, yo, them old heads in California, yo, they move a little different, yo. Niggas will put cases on your motherfucking ass. You heard me? them niggas to get tired of you, put a case on you. That's different type of work. Never saying that shit. Never, that's some shit you hear in prison. I ain't know niggas did that shit on the streets. G-Man, Snake House, we back. Hey, back in business. Man, them niggas out that bitch tripping. What the fuck, them little purple dots? Oh, 1, 2, 3. I go, okay, first. Oh, all right. That's how they doing it now. First 3 people. What's up, Benji? Yo. Suge Knight, from the comfort of his jail cell, is actively trying to put Reggie White in jail, making all these allegations on him. And Reggie White is doing the exact same thing. He trying to keep Suge Knight in jail. Like, yo, this is different. I swear, yo, this is different type of shit that's going on right now. What's up, Shane? What's up, James? Have y'all been keeping up with that? Suge Knight went over there and talked with Andrew Cuomo. Look, they wasn't even talking about Reggie White. He made sure he threw him in the mix. Said Reggie White was cool with Jane Dale. Reggie White told everybody when Pac got killed not to carry firearm. That's what getting crazy. Shouldn't I got fair? If he deserve to be part of. Okay. Let me say this to y'all. Stefon Diggs ain't had no pink cocaine, man. That nigga ain't fucking with the Tucci. Yo, Stefon Diggs wasn't selling Tucci, y'all. You know what that was? You remember when you was young, right? I don't know how many of y'all did this. But I used to do this shit when I was young. Remember the fun dip? You put the fun dip in the bag and you make it seem like, make it seem like it was coke. Man, Stefon Diggs gave them girls fun dip, man. He ain't get them girls no drugs. My man said he gave him some of that Cameron pink horsepower. Yeah, man. Stefon Diggs gave them girls pink horsepower, man. That's the fucking game, yo. That shit was not Tucci. I refuse to believe that Stefon Diggs, making all that money in the NFL, is selling Tucci on the side. He is not selling Tucci in the off season. he ain't selling Tucci in the off season, yo. That's just fun dip, man. I'm trying to tell you, if the camera would have rolled a little longer, you'd have seen it. Yeah, man, you'd have seen them put the stick in there, the little dipstick, eat it up. I'm trying to tell you that man ain't selling motherfucking Tucci, right? Yeah. Yo, but Larry Hoover, y'all. So Trump decides to pardon Larry Hoover. That's all I say. Who else he pardoned, y'all? Yeah, you ain't lying. These athletes getting out of control, man. Niggas can't keep their hands clean. They get all that money, can't keep their hands clean. But I'm telling you, It was fun dip. The red one, the strawberry one. We just ain't see the little. He took the dip out of it. That's all it was, y'all. Nothing to see here, man. Yo, so who else Trump pardoned? Oh, all right, and like who? Okay, so he just pardoned them for. Yo, how the fuck did Youngboy get pardoned? How the fuck did that happen? Yeah, how Youngboy get pardoned, man? What Youngboy do to deserve pardon? He already got pardoned from the original sentence. He only caught 27 months. I think he got pardoned enough. Man, let's salute the Youngboy, man, for being pardoned, man. I guess Trump ain't like how the feds was doing him. Because the feds have been doing him dirty. Hey, Shane, you said it, not me. You said it, not me, yo. But, so Larry Hoover is 53 years, 30 years in solitary confinement. They got him up Colorado ADX. Trump commutes the sentence, but he still got 200 years in Chicago, because what they said was while he was arrested in the feds, because he's been in the feds since the 70s. While he's arrested in the feds, they say he was still running the GDs from behind closed doors, and he sanctioned the murder. So in Chicago, they gave him 150 years to 200 years. So now, the bars in Chicago is in Illinois court. What y'all gonna do? That man need to be free, man. That man need to be free, man. It's a long ass time to be in prison. Glad he survived it. They had him on solitary confinement all that time. Man, let that man live his last couple years free. Now he is eligible for parole in Chicago. And I would think that with the time that he got in, he should go straight up. But we'll see, y'all. We'll see how they play. But even if he leaves ADX and go in Chicago, where he got a little bit more freedom, I think he'd be good. Yeah, man. Man, he old as shit, man. Probably so. For real? He got Pookie murdered. God damn it. He didn't knock Pookie off. Yeah, but rest in Pookie, man. But he eligible for parole, y'all, in that Chicago case. And he should get it. You know what I mean? Because what I understand, he didn't actually murder anybody. They gave that man 6 life sentences. Yo, that is what you call being buried under the jail. They try to bury like Hoover. I wonder who pushed for him. Jay Prince? Kanye? Y'all know Trump pardons are, I guess. Is the girl that he pardoned on his last administration. His last time. What's up, Haley? What you gotta say, Haley? What's up, Haley, baby? Don't say nothing crazy. But I'm trying. I gotta look more into this Youngboy situation. How did Youngboy get pardoned? Yeah, he did. He pardoned her on his last administration. They hired her. I think she did like 20 years or 30 years or something. What the fuck? Yeah, I think she did like 20, 30 years or something. LDZ, what it is? Damn, no, y'all. I'm trying to tell you, we got like who pitched NBA Youngboy to Trump? Was it his attorney? That was my job. I said, God damn, them boys are ripping. And then then you got the Diddy trial, right? Hey y'all, Diddy gonna have to take the stand, man. Diddy is gonna have to take the stand. I've been keeping an eye on the trial, and I see what they doing. And yo, Diddy, for him to have a chance, yo, he's gonna have to explain the unexplainable. Yo, why the fuck was you beating up on that girl like that, bro? Like, I think that's Diddy's only hope, to be honest. Like, they haven't proved sex trafficking, but what they're trying to show is that Diddy beat Cassie so bad, so often, that even if she wanted to separate, she couldn't. That's the narrative. That's the narrative. Never mind the fact that they was in a relationship. Never mind the fact that she actually. That is the picture that they paint into the jury. They did a whole bunch of bluffing. Act like he was going to shoot people. No, he wasn't shooting the goddamn soul. And I think it's so much domestic violence in this case that the average juror ain't like they got me on the jury. You know what I mean? I can see through the bullshit. But the average juror that don't understand certain aspects of life and, how shit go for the most part, they ain't trying to hear none of that shit, yo. All they hear is this nigga is beating the dog shit out this girl. That's all they hear. The Diddy's got to get on that stand and he got to answer some questions. He gonna have to. That's his only hope. That's Trump partner. He might got a partner coming from Trump. And don't get me wrong, I'm not backtracking from my position. I still think he been done dirty. But what I'm saying is that it was too much domestic violence, yo. It's too much him hitting on that girl. And that's gonna take away the consent. She couldn't consent. Some jurors, I can see a lot of jurors, I can see that message resonating with a lot of jurors. The girl got on the stand today and said, yo, he beat Cassie bloody. And after she was bloody, he kept beating her. I said, God damn, Diddy. Like, are you a wild ass? You gotta ask him some questions, man. Somebody block him, please. He's miserable. Diddy gonna have to answer some questions. Why was you hitting on this girl? Now, I don't know if he got the answers. Maybe I think it was drugs, Drugs fuck up your judgment, fuck up your temperament. But, yo, he's going to have to answer. No, because what I'm noticing with the defense ain't got the answers. You know what I mean? The defense does not have the answers, yo. Only person got the answers is Diddy. Hold up. Yo, the defense is having a hard time. The defense is having a hard time interviewing or cross-examining the witnesses because they don't have the answers. Only person that can provide the answers is Diddy, yo. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying, King? Like, yo, it's certain elements of the case that, yo, only person that can answer those questions is Diddy. And if he don't get on that stand, he gonna do himself a disservice, man. He gonna have to get on that stand, y'all. Now, I don't know how you explain some of that shit. Trump might pardon him. That might be his only hope. Because the way that they go, it's just too much domestic violence. It's too much. And it's brutal. You know what I mean? We ain't talking about just the average, you know, slam and, you know what I mean, shit like that. We talking about ass whippings. Yo, like, yo, a lot of people, once they hear that, yo, a lot of people mind just go, man, he guilty. Yeah, it's too much, y'all. It's too much. A lot of people gonna listen. A lot of them jurors, they probably already got guilty in their mind. Never mind the fact he didn't sex traffic, because he didn't. But that's not really the. He can be found guilty of sex trafficking just by the amount of ass whippings he gave Cassie, and that's the way the government is going. That's the way the government is going. That's why they keep focusing on domestic violence. I guarantee in their closing statements, that's what they're going to say. He beat and battered this woman so much that there was no way possible that she can consent to anything. Watch. I guarantee that being their closing statements. Guaranteed. And like I said, and the defense is struggling because they don't got the answers. Because at the end of the day, y'all, there's no evidence, for the most part, corroborating any of these witnesses' statements. Because the shit is so old. So you can't go, a lot of times you can't go back and get text messages. You can't go back and get video. You can't go back and get none of that shit to disprove anything these people are saying. So it's basically just their word. But there's no refute. You know, Diddy got to speak. He got to speak, yo. I hope his lawyers is telling him. You got to speak, bro. We want to know why the fuck you was so freaky. When did you get this freaky, Diddy? You feel me? Your freaky ass. Yo, what the fuck made you? What year did this start? What year did you decide to start Wild King Nights? We need answers. You know, what made the nights wild? And who was the king that night? We need answers, Diddy. He the only one that can provide them. Yeah, it is. It is. But they go. That's how they going. That's how they going to trick him, and that's how he going to get caught with the sex trafficking. You beat her too bad. She couldn't consent. Even if she didn't like it, even though she did, but even if she didn't, it was nothing she could do because of the ass whippings. That's what they're going. That's what they're going to make. That's what they're going to say. That's the game plan. It's fucked up. Because I think she loved the freak offs. But the domestic violence going to void that whole argument. The domestic violence going to void that whole argument, man. It don't matter if she liked it or not. Nigga, you beat the shit out of this girl repeatedly. Dragging her down the steps, dragging her up the, like, yo, what the fuck, bro? Like, Diddy was tripping. Trump might, he better reach out to Trump because I ain't gonna lie. The way this trial was hit, like the defense don't have any arguments, man. They don't have any arguments. Because what the fuck can they say? Because, yo, what's going on right now is these people are testifying are co-conspirators. Christina Corn, co-conspirator. I mean, what's her name? Capricorn, what the fuck her name is? Co-conspirator. Cassie, co-conspirator. All of these people are co-conspirators in this Diddy enterprise that the feds is trying to convince people that it was. And they all flipping on them. They all flipping on them. You gonna have to explain that shit, man. You gonna have to explain the freak offs. You gonna have to explain the Kid Cudi situation. He got to explain all that shit. You got to explain the reason why you kept bluffing like you was gonna hurt somebody and kill somebody, knowing good and goddamn well you wasn't. You got to explain all that shit, man. That's his only hope. He better not get up that bitch and cry either. You got to explain that shit with a straight face. I think it was drugs. I think it was drugs, money, power, respect. Yeah, hey, money, power, respect, yo. I think that's what it was. Diddy was power tripping. I don't think he actually realized what he was doing. You know what I mean? You know, sometimes you can get that carried away. You don't even realize what you're doing. Like, I don't think Diddy realized he was committing federal crimes. I think Diddy just was living the rock star lifestyle. And the feds like, oh shit, we can use this rock star lifestyle and turn it against them. It's not really, no, the evidence ain't powerful. It's not, no, it's not the evidence. That's what I'm saying. It's not real strong evidence. It's the domestic violence, man. It's way too much of it. It's way too much of it, man. Like it comes off like Diddy was Cassie Pimp. That's how the government is presenting the case. This wasn't no relationship. She was a hoe and Diddy was a pimp. That's what they doing. That's the game plan. That's the narrative. Cassie was a hoe, Diddy was the pimp. And whenever he got a chance, he beat on her. To create dominance, to show power, to show that, you know what I mean? That's when the racketeering gonna come into play. Diddy only hope is he gonna have to get on that stand and explain that shit, and it gotta resonate with people. You know what I mean? Because the defense can't do it. They wasn't there. And some of this shit is so old. Like, you can't go get video when the Capricorn girl said Diddy came to our house and knocked on her door. There's no video. There's no proof of it. So all you can take is her word. But you got to have a word that refute it. They don't have that. Diddy is the only one that can refute what she said. He the only one. He the only one that can refute. He the only one. They all co-conspirators, Ivan. Yo, that's what I'm saying. These are not victims. These aren't victims that's on the stand, y'all. These are co-conspirators. That's how they creating the Rico. They gave everybody immunity. Everybody that's testifying on Diddy has immunity. They committed crimes. The Christina girl, a Capricorn girl, bought drugs. Gave him. They all committed. Hey, Siobhan, appreciate that $50 cash app too, Siobhan. Sharon be coming through. All of them, everybody, if all you gotta do is listen to their testimony. See, the media is not going to spin it that way. The media want to spin it like these were all co-conspirators. You know what I mean? That's how it's a Rico. That's why it's not a one-man Rico. It's not a one-man Rico. Diddy is only one charge, but everybody that's testifying, they all part of this shit. And they all testifying so they don't get charges. That's why they put Cassie. Cassie was like the madam. That's why she testified first. When people was wondering why the fuck Cassie testified first, Cassie testified first because Cassie was complicit. But I'm not saying, I still stand on my position that he been done dirty. Because they're changing the definition of what sex trafficking is. But they can find him guilty with that evidence. The average juror ain't come from some of our backgrounds. You know what I mean? All them motherfuckers, man. All of them can catch charges. The bodyguards, they all was transporting drugs. You know what I mean? State to state. They all can face federal charges. That's why they all snitching and shit. Roger Bonds. All them motherfuckers, man. Sat around and watched that girl get her ass whipped. Repeatedly. Went and picked her up after she got her ass whipped. Yo, those are all crimes. But the media ain't gonna tell y'all that. You ain't gonna get that on Keep It G News. You know what I mean? The media gonna make it seem like they all victims and Diddy just, nah, hell no. Everybody was complicit. Everybody. That shit fucked up. But that's what the feds do. If they want one person, they give everybody a deal. You know what I mean? You can get caught with motherfucking 20 bricks of dope if you tell about a guy that got 5 murders. You understand what I'm saying? They excuse them 20 bricks. They excuse them 20 bricks. You tell us about somebody with 5 murders, you can go home today. Just testify on them. We'll give you immunity. Suge Knight brought up a good point. Suge Knight was on Chris Cuomo News Nation, and you remember the Christina, the Capricorn girl, worked for him, and she's creating this narrative like she was terrified of Diddy, and she said, "Man, hell no, cause she hung with me." You know what I mean? That was his exact words. Like I find it hard to believe that she was scared of Diddy because she hung with me. So when she pointing this narrative that I was scared to death, I ain't want to go, that's a goddamn lie. You was ready to go. She was a rider. That's why Diddy came and got her. You was ready to go. That's why she didn't tell. Remember yesterday when I was reading that paperwork, her last statement was, they said, why you ain't call the police? She said, because we was on Kid Cudi. That's what she said. Kid Cudi was the mission. That was her exact words, I think. I was like, oh shit. That ain't victim talk. You feel me? Victims don't talk like that. She was down for the play. I do tow trucking. Yeah, she was down for the play, y'all. The whole time. The whole time. Even when it came down to her with Cassie, she ain't, her allegiance was with Diddy. She didn't give a fuck about no Cassie. Her allegiance was with Diddy, man. That's why she left and came back. Shit crazy though. But I still stand on everything I said. They still a slippery slope. You know how the feds get down. Once they open this door, that bitch ain't closing. I'm trying to tell you, OnlyFans model's next. No, we just talking about the enterprise that the feds is trying to convince, and I think they're doing a good job. And the defense is struggling because the defense can't. It's nothing they can really do. How do you question somebody about an incident from 10 years ago? You don't have any witnesses to refute. You know what I mean? There's nobody that can refute these accounts of what happened. Only Diddy can. Only Diddy can. Y'all would be surprised. The defense probably got 2 witnesses. The defense probably got 2 people they probably gonna try to bring up D-Rock. And they already muddy his name so much that the jury gonna look at him like, oh, you just taking up for Diddy like you always did. That's probably the only witness they gonna bring. Then Diddy was doing all that bluffing, grabbing a gun, like he was looking for Suge Knight. You ain't looking for no goddamn Suge Knight, Diddy. Stop bluffing. You ain't killing nobody. All that was scared tactics. Drinking water, man. Smart water to be exact. Stevie J. You ain't heard his name in the trial though. I mean, it's still some time left, but we ain't heard nothing about Stevie J. It's only a few names that's been mentioned. Somebody named Rude and D-Rock. Those are the guys that's gonna have to come up there and refute these events. If not, Diddy gonna have to do it. He the only option, y'all. And I'm telling you, if he don't get on the stand, testify, and get found guilty, that shit gonna bother him. Yo, like, you know, I don't recommend getting on the stand. You understand? But in this case, I think that's his only shot. His only shot is getting on that stand. I'm in a flatbed. We ain't even heard nothing about y'all. What's up with y'all? We ain't even heard nothing about the mule. Now look at this shit. Motherfucking dad just walked across the street. That bitch just standing there. Bitch, move, somebody hit your dumb ass. Well, there's 3 of them niggas. My camera on that scene ain't that good. He got to, bro. He don't have no choice, to be honest. Yo, he don't have a choice, yo. He don't have a choice. He got it, like I was sitting back listening to the testimony, and listening to the things that people putting out, and I'm like, yo, Diddy gotta speak for itself. Can't nobody speak for him. Yo, you gotta answer why you was beating on that girl like that. You gotta answer that. Because the narrative that was being painted is you was beating on her because you was pimping her. You was beating on her so you continue trafficking her. You gotta dispel that narrative. Then he gotta try to separate the ass whippings from the freak offs. I know, bro. I know he not. I know he not. That's not. It's not about that. But yo, it's so much domestic violence that yo, it's gonna be jurors that look past the sex trafficking. You understand what I'm saying? It's so much. Yo, the testimony today. Cassie did something. He started beating her. Took her in the room, beat her some more. Another person jumped on his back, threw that person off the back, beat her some more. She hit her head on a wall, on the bed or something. Then he said, yo, she gotta go to the plastic surgeon. You understand what I'm saying? Like, yo. Jurors is gonna look past the sex trafficking. Because the narrative is that she couldn't consent because of the ass whippings. The relationship was so abusive that she couldn't say no. It was consequences for saying no. Even though she enjoyed the freak offs. You understand what I'm saying? Even though she enjoyed the freak offs, she was getting her ass whipped so much that she couldn't even deny him. And the average juror, that's going to resonate with them. That's why they keep talking about domestic violence. And watching their closing arguments, watch they bring it all full circle. I guarantee you. They're going to bring it all full circle to say, yo, she couldn't consent. It was no way. Shit fucked up, though. Because I don't think Cassie's, I think Cassie's the co-conspirator. The only real victims are the sex workers. The sex workers are the real victims. They was the ones being preyed on. I don't think Diddy did it. I think Diddy was on drugs. I think money, power, and drugs. I don't think Diddy was a demon, because Diddy probably did great things for people. You know, demons are born. They're not created. Diddy got, I think them drugs fucked Diddy up. You talking about he taking Percocets. He taking the Tusi. He taking ketamine. He taking GHB. Like, yo, that shit fucks up. That shit clouds your brain, man. You know what I mean? It fucks up your judgment. It fucks up your emotions. And then he got money so he can control his environment. He can control his environment. Yeah, man, he was fucking with that fun dip like my man Stefon Diggs. Shit was fun dip. That's what it was. It wasn't pink cocaine. Start putting some of this shit in my car. Yo, they lied about the $1,000 of baby oil, y'all. It was only 25. Diddy did not get caught with $1,000 of baby oil. It only was 25. 25 bottles of baby oil and 35 bottles of Astro Glide. I mean, Diddy, he got some wiggle room, because they still trying to, they still haven't established who leaked that tape. So he got some wiggle room if he get found guilty on the appeal. Because that tape definitely was leaked by the government. Now, can they prove it was leaked? I don't know. But if they can prove that tape was leaked, that throws the whole case out. That throws the whole case out. Because it taints everything. Similar to what Dirk doing right now, trying to get his case thrown out by the feds, by them giving that false testimony about Dirk trying to capitalize off the death of Corner Rondo. Corner Rondo people. I think, let me run in here real quick. So let me explain this, y'all, because I want people to understand what I'm saying. So I don't think Diddy sex trafficked Cassie. I don't think Diddy sex trafficked anybody. But what I think is that the domestic violence was so bad that he's going to be found guilty of sex trafficking. You feel me? That's what I'm saying. The domestic violence is so bad that he's going to be found guilty of sex trafficking and racketeering and all that shit. If he don't have an explanation as to why you was doing that shit. He gotta get on the stand, yo. I'm telling you, he gotta get on the stand. I guarantee the defense team recommended. You gotta get on the stand, Diddy. I know you don't want to. But you gotta get on the stand. When did the freak-off start? Who taught you freak-offs? Where did you learn freak-offs from, Diddy? Who was the first person you did a freak-off with? Like he going to answer some sensitive questions. Did you grow up around domestic abuse? Yeah, and the feds pay dirty. They pay dirty. They been playing dirty the whole trial. They killed him in public opinion. So he was already fighting an uphill battle. They ain't snitching on nobody. Ain't nobody to snitch on. I don't think they want. See, this the thing, y'all. This is not. Yo, they not trying to clean the industry. You know what I mean? This is some personal shit that they got against Diddy. Like, they're not trying to clean up the industry. You understand? So, him telling on somebody is like, I don't even think they're going to be interested. Because they don't want everybody. And that was always my beef with this prosecution of Diddy. Because it's like, yo, you lock Diddy up. But quid pro quo still goes on. And y'all not interested in stopping quid pro quo. Because that's really the issue. The issue is, I got something you want, so I'm going to use my power and my authority and assert it over you in order for you to get what you think I got that you can, you can benefit from. They're not stopping that. So it's like, what you prosecuting Diddy for? If you're not stopping that shit at the root, because it's still going on right now. There's somebody in the industry getting quid pro quo right now. And they knew about it. Because the feds know every motherfucking thing. You know what I mean? They know every goddamn thing. Nosy bastards. They know everything about us in the comments. For real though, Shabbat. Like, they know everything, man. That's why it's like, yo, they wasn't coming down on Diddy. This Diddy shit about that liquor company. Diddy went against the grain. Diddy went against the grain. So they say, oh, you wanna go against the grain? You don't wanna conform? You think you bigger than the program? Federal indictment. That's what they did. And they using his inner circle to do it. I don't think a Jamal. Look up America's Most Wanted. Look up the FBI's 10 most wanted list. Then come back and let's talk about it. After you look that up, then come back and we can have a conversation of why African Americans are so dangerous. I don't think you're gonna find one black person on that list. Man, they all participating in it, man. See, but the thing is with the quid pro quo is you gotta have something, you gotta want something I got. You know what I mean? So you still participated, even though I don't respect men that do that to women. You feel me? But in order for you to be quid pro quo, you have to have something I want. Yo, if Cassie would have been Beyonce, I don't think we'd have heard from Cassie. If Cassie would have been Mary J. Blige, I think Cassie would have been at peace. But since her career stalled and she didn't go anywhere, and Diddy probably gave her a whole bunch of empty promises, this what we get. This what we get. I really just looking at that shit like, damn, I see what they doing now. I see the picture they painting. I see the picture that they painting, and the defense got nothing for them. Cause like I say, yo, how do you question somebody about something that happened 11 years ago? Yeah, how do you question somebody about the facts of something that happened 11 years ago? You don't have nobody that can disprove it. I think some of that liquor company is what made this prosecution come down. And I don't think it made things worse. I think that's the catalyst to this whole situation. Because if Cassie was this scared of Diddy, she wouldn't have got on no stand. You know what I mean? Cassie had assurance. She had insurance that was just as big as Diddy. That we're gonna make sure you straight. But he got to go. He shouldn't have been putting his hands on that girl like that, man. Like, I don't understand. I just think it was drugs. You said Cassie getting, I can believe that, Flim Flam. Flim Flam, where you been at, man? How you been? You alright? Flim Flam said Cassie's being paid to touch. I can believe that. A lot of them probably being paid to testify because they all snitching. They all co-conspirators. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They all co-conspirators. All of them. The Capricorn girl. Everybody that got on that stand so far that testified about Diddy in the circle are co-conspirators. They're not victims. They're not victims, man. Stop letting them sell you that idea of, oh, these they weren't victims. What's up, bro? That shit crazy though. It's crazy that they allow that type of shit. You know, they're turning a blind eye to a situation just to get somebody they want. What's up, Tony? You know what I mean? They totally disregard everything this other person is doing just to get this person. Meanwhile, I think Cassie was more complicit than Diddy. Shit, Cassie paid sex workers. Cassie brought drugs. Cassie flew sex workers in. She booked them. Cassie was complicit. Like Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. I think she's still locked up. What shorty called 30? That dumbass still in there. Hold up, man. It's a 12 o'clock yet? Oh shit, it's 11:55. $11:55. Get out of here. Oh. What the fuck I do with that rag? My motherfucking truck back, man. I'm tired of driving this bitch. Real. I'm sick and tired of driving this fucking truck. Okay, I'm ready to get the fuck up out of here. Dang. Hold up, bro. I'm hoping I do. Oh, shit.